Appreciate you taking the time and have a conversation. We would love to chat with you a little bit about your book and Privy and like some of the stuff you're doing, as well as what you're doing here at Permissionless. To kick it off, we'd love to know a little bit more about yourself, if you don't mind sharing. Like, how did you get into this space? What sparked your curiosity?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Singapore born and raised. Is I guess a fun little fact about me. I've had probably quite a diverse career. My career started off in the traditional finance space. So spent about 7 years kind of investing across consumer and consumer tech companies. And from there was really kind of drawn to the whole startup ecosystem. So actually entered the world of live sports. So I worked for a mixed martial arts promotion for a few years. And then in the middle of the pandemic, decided to relocate to the US. The pandemic wasn't great for live sports, as you can imagine. And I think it was really during that move. So that was about, 4 to 5 years ago, where I just got really drawn to internet communities and, just partly because it was really hard to meet people during lockdowns. And that was probably when I started getting really excited about crypto and all that it could do. I had been casually invested before, but never really took the time to dive into the technology or what it could enable. And so I met my co-founder for my last company, Randy Zuckerberg, in a Discord server. We kind of connected over Zoom, and then we decided to build a company together. So worked on that for, I guess, 3 years. The company was called Hug, essentially an on-chain creative community and marketplace. Exited that business at the start of the year, and then it so happened that I guess I also wrote a book. So yeah, I guess that has kind of taken up my focus, I guess for the first few months of the year. And then now I lead marketing at Privy. So it's just been a really exciting, past 6 months. Yeah.
It's an awesome whirlwind of stuff that you're doing. Yeah, I want to know about your book that came out in January, right?
Yeah, it came out in February. I guess I've been working on it. I had been working on it for, I guess, the year prior. It's called Digital Mavericks. I basically say it's 50% a how-to guide on entering and navigating the space. It's deliberately written in a very accessible way. I wanted it to be, approachable enough so that someone like my mom, who's over 70, would be able to pick it up and, understand a little bit more about what I do for a living. And then the other 50% are really features or profiles of people that I really look up to in the space, and they span creators and artists like AI artists Claire Silver, builders in the space like Jesse Pollock. I also interviewed content creators like Zeneca. So really like kind of diverse range of backgrounds. And so I wanted to, I guess, bring the human-centered side of crypto so that people didn't crypto sometimes has like a bad rap. I think it's a little bit better now. But I wanted people to really connect with the humans that are behind a lot of the things that we're seeing and show that, at the end of the day, everyone's really relatable and we're all doing really fun and exciting things.
That's awesome. Is it the tech that you talk about mostly in the book and the startups? You talk about the communities in this space. Like there's quite a dichotomy between some of these different things, and there's plenty to talk about, obviously, because Web3 is changing every single day. But what are some key things from the book or some key takeaways that maybe you can share with people?
Yeah, great question. So the book is really kind of divided into 3 parts. The first is really kind of a history and a look back of the internet. I kind of grew up with the internet, as a lot of us did. And then, essentially what crypto and what Web3 and blockchain technology is. I would say the second part is really kind of the how-to part. I talk a lot about, why if one person is interested in entering crypto, how does that person find their why and how important it is to identify that? Because as we all know, the space is incredibly volatile. We've seen people come and go, or we've seen people get burned out. And I think that's the last thing that I want for people to, approach crypto and then just be like, oh, this is not for me. So it really is about kind of how do you even start learning about it? How do you make it sustainable for you? Finding what really excites you. And then the last part is really something that's a little bit more forward looking. So, I cover things like, and again, this, it's probably outdated given everything that has happened, but, how regulation is evolving, the role of AI and the intersection of AI and crypto, which we're seeing a lot more. So, I think there's so much to add to that as well. And I also talk, I have like one chapter that also talks about diversity and representation in the space. So yeah, it's kind of a bunch of varied topics, but again, it's really meant to be a comprehensive overview for someone who might be completely new to this industry.
Excellent. Where can people find it? Is it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or where is it available?
Yeah, available at Amazon, Barnes and Noble. So, anywhere you would get your book, there's a Kindle version, an audiobook version. So however you like to consume your content, you can find it there. Yeah.
I know that you mentioned that you're head of marketing for Privy, right? Can you tell us a little bit about Privy and what it's all about?
Yeah, so Privy is incredible, powerful wallet infrastructure that makes it really simple for developers to build on crypto rails. We power the experiences behind some of the most used and loved applications in the space. So anything from OpenSea to Farcaster to Zora. So that's like one category of applications that are more consumer facing. We also power trading platforms, so like Jupiter Exchange, Pump.fun. We power both the kind of login authentication experience, but also, make it really easy for a user to get set up with a wallet. So, the embedded wallets inside these applications. And then increasingly, we're also seeing demand from kind of more, I guess, enterprise or fintech customers. So, one example would be Toku, that is a global payroll provider. Using stablecoin to pay out to contractors in different countries. Blackbird, which is a dining loyalty app. Also it's also built on Privy to allow customers to pay restaurants with their flight tokens and things like that. Yeah.
Interesting. So quite a lot of stuff. What brings you to permissionless? Is it the book? Is it Privy? Is it a little bit of everything? Or what kind of brought you here?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be a permissionless. I think, there's so many different crypto conferences, throughout the year. But, I always feel like this is one that really brings together a range of diverse perspectives. I would say that I'm here probably slightly more in the capacity on the Privy side. Henry, our CEO, was just at a fireside chat earlier today. So that was really, insightful to listen to and to, obviously I work with him really closely every single day, but it's always great to hear him speak and share his views on where he thinks the world is going. But yeah, I think, here to just connect with a lot of like-minded builders and people who could benefit from building on Privy and see also what other innovations are coming out of the space.
Where do you think the crypto world is going right now? Obviously, it's in the US, it's done like a full 180. The last 4 or 5 years were really, really harsh, and a lot of companies left, and administration came in, changed that, and now all the companies are trying to come back. We have legislation potentially on the table with like the Genius Act, and like everything's kind of going on. Like, curious what you think about the state of crypto today based on where it's been in the past, and like, is this like a hyper optimistic time? Like, should people be building harder now, or like, what are you seeing from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really exciting time to be in crypto for, all of the reasons that you mentioned. I think clearer regulation definitely helps. I think, up until I don't know how long ago, because it's hard to think in terms of the timeframes are always so warped in crypto. But, not too long ago, we weren't even sure if like holding NFTs was legal or launching any of these meme coins are legal. And I think that having some clarity there, I think will lead to a lot more creativity and a lot more innovation. I think that's from kind of like an individual creator standpoint. I think all of the regulation and all of the big announcements, including kind of Stripe's acquisition of Privy or the partnership announcement between Coinbase and Shopify and Stripe to, start accepting stablecoin as payment. All of this is incredibly legitimizing for the space. So I think I kind of see it in two dimensions. I think one, you obviously have the more enterprise adoption of it, like the Shopifys of the world, or even like JP Morgan launching its own stablecoin product. So I think we're seeing a lot of, call it traditional institutions, for the lack of a better word, really starting to think about what their crypto strategy is. And I think in a way that actually solves more problems, or is a little bit more intentional than call it the 2021, 2022 wave, when I think we saw a lot of companies kind of experiment with, NFTs or like launching some of these like on-chain experiences that didn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense, or it just felt like they were doing it for the sake of doing it. But I think now we're seeing them incorporating, I think, crypto, I think primarily in terms of as payment rails, and, really being able to benefit from a lot of that, just obviously quicker, cheaper transactions. So that's one aspect of it. I think you have the other aspect of it, which is, call it the more consumer facing side, where, obviously there are going to be these things like token launches, and the meme coins, I think, will be here to stay. I think it just in what shape or form it's going to look a little bit different. I think what Zora is doing is really interesting in terms of having every creator having their own token, and I'm excited to see how that goes. And again, I think some of these monetization models, I don't think any of them are in their final stage, but I do feel like this is a time for experimentation and innovation. And, not every experiment is going to pay off, but I think think it's encouraging a lot of people, from individual standpoint to want to get excited again and to come in and start exploring.
I've talked with a lot of people yesterday and today in particular about like stable coins. Like you mentioned, a lot of payment providers are starting to accept crypto now from Stripe and PayPal. PayPal in particular has their own stable coin. Bank of America had announced that they're going to, JP Morgan Chase. The list goes on and on at this point. It's very fascinating that people are starting to dub this summer as potentially stablecoin summer or stable summer or however you want to coin it. Any thoughts on the stablecoin landscape? Because I think it's very fascinating that institutions have really picked up on it, maybe faster than they were going to pick up the rest of the crypto space. Some of that driven by high yield opportunities on stablecoins or just the stable nature of it itself and being able to participate in the space with less risk and volatility. But any thoughts on maybe where stablecoins can take this space going forward? 'Cause it's a really good bridge and I think connector to the rest of the industry and bringing in TradFi at the same time.
Yeah, and obviously, I've been in crypto not the longest. I've been in crypto, officially 4 to 5 years. We've seen the hype cycles, and we've seen people get really excited about things. And sometimes, and just the famous saying of like, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And this is one of those times where you're like, oh my gosh, is there just going to be so much hype and nothing is going to come out of it? I think, bullish on stablecoin adoption because I genuinely do think that it solves real problems in terms of just transferring, like I said, I'm from Singapore. So, just transferring money from, one country to another, that in itself like takes time and it's costly, for even the institutions that run it and that gets passed on to consumers. So I think we're seeing that in the numbers as well in terms of stablecoin transaction volume. So I continue to, be bullish about adoption generally. I think in terms of what every company does and does every single company need a stablecoin strategy, I think that's something where, that's probably a little bit more of a nuanced answer. Like, and I think even from the Privy perspective, it's like when we talk to customers, we're not just, I guess, trying to sell stablecoin adoption for the sake of it. There has to be a real reason behind it that, that would actually make one's business better. But I think what is really exciting is that if stablecoin adoption truly becomes more commonplace, then that off-ramping bit of it is actually even less of a concern because now it's accepted everywhere. I can turn my stable coin into meme coins if I wanted to, my meme coins back into stable coin. I can then, continue paying with goods on Shopify with stable coin. And all of a sudden we are really building this whole on-chain economy without necessarily having to wonder about from crypto back to fiat, which I think was a lot of the conversation, quite like a couple of years ago.
What an interesting world we live in today. Yeah, I got into crypto in 2013, quite a long time ago at this point. You just in the last like four or 5 years, right? It's amazing how fast it evolves and it changes, like even in a short like couple year window. Like you probably got in around 2021, where meme coins and NFTs were like blowing up everywhere and going wild. It's crazy how the space develops over time. Want to do a quick little rapid fire session just for some fun, quick couple questions, and just give me whatever's at the top of your head. Who's your favorite Web3 personality?
Oh my gosh, favorite Web3 personality. It's going to be so hard. Well, I love my friend Zedeca. Like, he just writes great pieces all the time. I love that he's got a really nuanced approach on also how to stay sane. He's also a phenomenal trader, but also a great like intentional art collector and on-chain art collector. So I think he kind of covers a lot of different dimensions, but yeah.
With Privy aside, do you have a favorite Web3 project, company, or startup that you think is doing some really good stuff?
I love my time on Podcaster. I actually check my time usage, my app usage, and it's probably, I think, the most used, has the most used screen time on my phone. But I love that people are innovating there. I love the whole mini app ecosystem. I love that the community is still really supportive of each other, feels less PvP compared to crypto Twitter. So, and Podcast is also, built on Privy. So a little bit of bias there, but genuinely, I love what Podcast is doing, and I really hope that they can kind of continue growing.
Alt season 2025. Is that something that's still on the table, you think, in your opinion, or has that kind of passed us at this point in this cycle?
That is so funny because actually what my entry into crypto, the first token I actually bought was XRP back in 2019. So I've seen that go all the way down to the SEC lawsuit and then it coming back again. And you know, it was one of those things where I just closed my eyes and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually, you know, pretty profitable at this point. So part of the XRP army, I guess, unofficially. I still think there's legs to go. So I don't know if I'm just being hyper optimistic. I think obviously Bitcoin has kind of led the charge, and we've also seen like Ethereum been a severe laggard. I think on a lot of like technical signals. It seems to be, you know, people say it's undervalued, but who knows? But yeah, I still think that we have legs to go for alt season. Not financial advice.
Awesome. Debbie, I appreciate the conversation today and for you making the time. Where can people go to find you, follow you? Do you have an X? Do you have a LinkedIn? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on X and LinkedIn, Deb soon, or you can find me at Forecast. It's just Debbie. So yeah. Easy.
Again, appreciate it. I look forward to reading your book as well. I'm going to get a copy of it. Keep up all the great work, and I'll be following you as well. So let me know when you're doing new things with Privy as well. Anything comes up, would love to do maybe another episode in the future, dive into some other topics as well. But again, really appreciate it and enjoy your time at Permissionless.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
Awesome.